Yes. How are we doing, guys? Hope you're good. Welcome to show 350. 350 shows. So today we're going to be talking about using your past as strength for today, right? Using your past as strength, using it in a wise way. Okay. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Boardman. And if you are coming through, then please do hit the love heart button. If you've watched a little bit, it's a way of letting me know that you're watching. And in the comments, what I want you to do is answer truthfully. Do you use your past as strength, or do you dwell on your past, or do you allow it to affect your future? Okay, so one of those three, something along those lines, a couple of sentences. Allow yourself to connect with the mission that we're talking about today. All right, guys? And also, just to let you know, if you don't work with us, or if you do work with us and you need a refresher, next week is our very, very last 5-day, Elite 5-day challenge this year. Okay. So if you want to get on it, you need a refresher, you need 5 days of coaching, you need 5 days of fire and passion and drive to figure out how to lead yourself. Then go and get yourself on. Free registration is on the link up above. We'd love to see you in the 5-day challenge. I always recommend, whether you are one of my one-on-one clients, or whether you are in my brotherhood, or whether you've never trained with us, that you go and do this 5-day challenge. All right, amigos. Right, so I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the podcast host asked a question to this guy who had been through so much. If you could press the buzzer right here in front of you, and that would erase all of the trauma and all of the experiences and everything that you had gone through, okay, from a particular point where you started, life started falling down for you, would you press it and eradicate all of that? I thought it was a really good question. And as I was running, I was doing my 20 miles on Saturday, and I asked myself, would I press that buzzer to have eradicated everything that I've gone through? And the answer for me would be no, I wouldn't. Okay, and there's an awful lot of trauma in there, an awful lot of experience in there. There's an awful lot of life experience in there. Now, I look at my last 20 years, if not plus, or my life, and I kind of look at who I am now and who I am today, the father I am, the coach I am, the husband I am. I am that guy because of the way that my past has led me. The path, the experiences, the trauma, the experiences, all of that has led me to be able to be doing this job with you guys, being able to give you experience, being able to give you passion, desire, pathways. It allows me to be the father that I am today. It allows me to be the husband and the man I am today, right? Evolution and growth. And the truth is, if I press the button on wiping away any trauma or past experiences now, I really feel like I would be running away from all of it. I really feel like, well, what happens tomorrow if there's trauma? What happens the next day? How would I have learned to deal with hardship if I eradicated everything that was doing my past? So I looked at that as, we should use our past as strength, right? We should use our past as strength. So I look at everything. So I reflect an awful lot, especially in the mornings, about past experiences in my own life, things and hardships and sufferings and experiences that I've gone through. And I use that as inner armor to be able to thrive today. And I look at a lot of people, and you know, it's taken a lot of work. I don't think you just wake up and I go, right, turn around, all right, use your past as your strength and then crack on. It doesn't work just like that. But it's got to be consistent work, right? Which is why I look at a lot of the guys that work with me. They're constantly working on themselves. They're slowly building strength for their future. They're building strength for their family, to be the best business owner, to be the best in their career, to be the best husband, to be fit and strong at their age, no matter what. But they're slowly moving away from that past figure, that past person, those past beliefs, all right? And that's why I don't believe that we should always forget our past. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's controversial. I don't believe that we should forget the past. I do believe you should think and dwell on those periods of time in your life that you have gone through, that hardship, those experiences, that suffering. It's important for you to remember what created you today and what drives you on to become the man that you're going to be later on in life, today and later on in life. And sometimes we become complacent, and remembering where you've come from, tuning in to that strength, that inner armor that created the human being that you're trying to become, man, you don't want to forget that. It's like finding a mentor or a book or a quote or something that helped shape your life. That past experience helped shape your life. So why would you forget that? Don't forget that. It's a key reminder to you. It's a key reminder for you of what life used to be like, what you used to go through, how you used to handle hardship, what your character used to be. And that's the alternative, right? We then slip into another topic, which is what's the alternative to showing up? Well, going back to the way that we dealt with hardship then. Going back to looking at the way that we used to be, okay? And it's not that we consume. There's a difference between just like consuming yourself in that and becoming that identity again. It's reflection. It's perspective, okay? It's learning. It's just a chapter of a book that you go back and you read and you go, wow, did I used to be that guy? Is that how I used to live? Right, bang. That drives me even more to want to write my next chapter, to create that next chapter. And and when we were away last week, and I was really reflecting on like when I used to run boot camp sessions, when I used to do PT in the stadium for £15 an hour. You know, I remember when I thought I was going to lose my house. I remember the trauma of leaving my house. I remember the trauma of letting down my first wife. I remember like letting down my kids. I remember like just all going to Afghanistan and having to say goodbye to everybody. And all of those experiences have shaped me. I think about them. I dwell on them for a couple of minutes and then I'm like, God, we've come a long way, James. We've come a long way from being that person. And I think to myself, oh, God, I'm handling this situation better than I used to. And that's because we're conditioning ourselves, right? That's what we're doing. So we're using the past. We're extracting those key gems from the past, those key experiences to reinforce, strengthen us, our hardship, our mentality, our emotional state, our physical state for today and tomorrow. Make sense? I hope so. It's always a controversial topic when we talk about our past and things that we've gone through. Obviously, I don't want you to go back and dwell when your mum died or when you lost somebody that meant something to you. But everything builds strength in you, right? Everything builds strength in you. Whether we've lost someone that we love, we build an inner strength. It builds up the layers. It's just those 2 millimeters, those 1% wins, those 2 millimeters that move us a little bit closer so that we can help somebody else, right? And it is an evolution game. There are different layers that we go to as we progress, right? So the way that somebody who's at chapter 1 of trying to change the way they live their life, man, they're going to be fully consumed within their past. Someone that's at chapter 20 and has been working on themselves for a year, man, they're further away from that path. There's a bigger gap. So the bigger that gap is between your old self and your new self, okay, the easier it is to use it as strength. When it's still fresh and when there's just that amount of space between the new you and the old you, leaving that behind, it's a little bit raw. So the further we move away, the more we work on ourselves, the more that we show up, do morning routines, go to the gym, write journals, connect more with our whys, put boundaries into our work-life balance, the stronger that we become. That's it. So what I want you to do is put the one thing, your one takeaway from this session this morning in the comments. Okay, just a sentence, just a word, whatever you want to do. But what's one thing that you're really going to take away from this session and implement for the week? All right, catch up with you later.